Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that just sounded really weird. But you know what? On a night like tonight, whatever. It's
That
pure
was
finesse with the Sad Leafs fan, Jacob Murchison, and the man to my left who owns probably the best goaltender in all of the land,
yeah.
Mr. Malcolm Golbis. Malcolm, the season series, I would say, is split for his teams here because my Browns beat your Steelers in January,
I was thinking that.
and
Yeah.
your Montreal Canadiens have beat the Leafs tonight, May
Yeah.
31st. For everyone doing that tomorrow morning. Malcolm, I think it's safe to say Carey Price is the best goaltender in the NHL.
Yeah.
Not a question.
Playoff price.
Severely
Playoff price.
underpaid at $10.5 million. Still think is severely underpaid for obvious reasons. And I cannot wait to see the Toronto Maple Leafs blow up this entire team because I think that's exactly what needs to happen. Besides the name of Austin Matthews, John Tavares, and Morgan Riley.
Yeah, you can't be cutting those guys.
Matthews 6 points in 7 games. Look,
One
give him
goal. One
the
goal.
doubt. Mitch Marner, $10 million roughly is how much you're getting paid.
Hey, don't get mad at Nylander though. That guy had 5 goals
I'm
in the.
not talking
Oh, I
minutes.
thought you said earlier Nylander.
No. Mitch Marner had how many goals again? Oh, zero. That's correct. Two delay of game penalties.
That was atrocious.
A nice turnover to get Gallagher's first goal in how many games? 11? First
11, like a
11
lot since
games?
his injury, right? So
Yep. For the icebreaker.
yeah,
It's going to be a very eventful offseason. Maple Leafs and more work on Kyle Dubas to do. Not to say that we should pin this loss on anything on the management, but Kyle Dubas has done a great job constructing the team, what they needed, what I would say the critics said that they needed, but just
yeah,
didn't work.
honestly.
They ran into a buzzsaw of Carey Price. And I think that the blueprint for any of these teams that are looking to do what the Montreal Canadiens are doing and upset number one team in your division is to get the best goaltender available. It's as
And
simple as that.
as much as I love Carey Price, because we have him for another 5 years, right? We have him until he's 38 years old right now. You got to give credit where credit's due. And
What? Carey Price.
one guy you got to talk about is Philip Deneau shutting
How
down
many goals?
the Matthews
How
line.
many goals?
It doesn't matter. They said it in the broadcast too. Leafsnet said it. Matthews and Marner having one goal total this series is just as equal to having 3 goals because you're playing a defense. He's the best defensive forward, honestly, right now. Philip Deneau winning all the faceoffs. He'd win the faceoffs, go off the ice. He shut them down. That line shut them down. So you got to give Deneau some credit and the whole rest of the team some credit. But Carey Price is the savior. If we did not have Carey Price in that, we're not winning that series. Carey Price is the
I'll
go.
agree with you on only one point that you made, and that's the face-off point of view. Al, you can bring the stats up to me, but I think Matthews was over 50% in the face-off dot.
You think he was
Not to say it
better?
was all against Dano, but Matthews was over 50% in the face-offs this
Oh,
year.
not yeah. When he wasn't against Dano, like it was tough. But like today, Kotkaniemi and Dano were like over 75%, 70% from the faceoff. So it
But
came
I
down to
don't think we're
faceoffs and
talking
stuff.
Toronto until when is it going to be? October, November?
Yeah.
The next series that ended in six was Tampa Bay Lightning against the Florida Panthers. First battle of Florida that Tampa Bay won. Another upset. It's going to be a theme. Tampa was the lower seed
Really?
series. Yes,
Wow.
Florida used three goalies. First time that's ever happened.
Spencer Knight came coming in.
Spencer Knight, the rookie, first goaltender to make his debut in an elimination game, won it, but lost in Game 6.
Yeah.
Who do you like? Where is your confidence in Florida's goaltending right now to say you're paying Bobrovsky, I think, $9 million. Chris
Yeah.
Krieger, I think, is being lost to expansion draft, and you have
Yeah.
Spencer Knight, and if you remember from the World Juniors, Devin Levi.
Oh, even better. Oh yeah, they have both.
Where do you go from here? Because you play three goalies in 6 games.
Like I don't know if everyone has as much confidence in Bobrovsky anymore. He's kind of just fell off after his days in Columbus, and he don't get me wrong, he brought his team to a high seed this year, and they got into the playoffs over, like you just mentioned, a higher seed than Tampa Bay. But when it comes down to it, you got to be able to perform in the playoffs. And I think these young goalies, if you get them in there like they did with Spencer Knight, kind of groom them at this point. I think you guys stick with Spencer Knight and Devin Levi. Like you said, both of them played against each other in the Juniors finals. Obviously, Spencer Knight's team winning the USA. But I'm not really concerned. I think having two young goalies like that to play under Bobrovsky, maybe he bounces back next year, is a good thing. So I'm not too concerned. Not too concerned at
Well,
all.
the main deal with Bobrovsky in playoff time is that he wants it so bad he tends to overplay
Yeah.
everything, and he's
Yeah.
sliding snow angels, sticks, gloves, blockers all over the place, all over the blue paint, and he just overplays everything, and it costs them badly. But one thing that's clicking for Tampa Bay, man, is that power play. I mean, it seems like every time they get one, they're scoring on it. I think for sure it's over 50%, but I would say it's close to 70. I mean, anywhere you look at it, I think it's a little suspicious of how good Kucherov's been playing since coming back from this injury.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Him and Stammer.
To say that coming off this hip injury, in quotations, to be full speed, playing almost 20 minutes a night, scoring goals left, right, and center, facilitating the puck like he's doing,
He was ready to
is this
go.
going to be seen more often with teams? Not necessarily, maybe not now because they're going to be playing 82 games next season. Hopefully, that's the hope.
Yeah.
But for Tampa Bay to play the whole season without like they're arguably the best, definitely the best goal scorer in Kucherov,
Yeah.
still make the playoffs, and still have a good ranked seed to only have him come back and light it up.
I don't know if we'll see more of that. It's kind of like the NBA, right, where they have like those low days, those resting days. But he actually did have his hip injury, and he was placed on the long-term
That's
IR
like
right at the
$9
beginning of
million
the season.
going to everywhere else.
Exactly. So they saved cap
Could be the
space. He
last
was
run
on
for
the
the Tampa Bay Lightning.
pardon.
Could be the last run for Tampa Bay.
It could be like there's a few teams here that are just coming down, closing like their window for the Stanley Cup's closing. They may have to be entering a rebuild soon, unlike Toronto, who's rebuilding every single year. But I don't know. I think it's not suspicious. I think he was just ready to go for the playoffs, and he turned it up, and that's why they won that series.
I think he was ready a couple of weeks ago. Well, I said that a couple of weeks ago, so probably about a month ago.
Month ago, yeah.
And then just say, hey, we're making the playoffs here. Don't worry about testing it out. Stay on the IR until the playoffs come, and you're loving life right now. And it definitely showing. Probably the shock of the playoffs so far is the sweep of the Edmonton Oilers that the Winnipeg Jets gave on them. I know me and you have heard about it most of the time from the Mortadellas down in
More to
Winnipeg. They
Dallas,
like to
bro.
talk about it very
I'm
much.
gonna have to hear more of them now.
Yeah, we're going to be hearing about that more often than not. Again, goaltending stole this series away. I mean,
Come on.
Edmonton kind of got the same mold as the Leafs, absolute studs offensively. But goaltending, not to say that Jack Campbell played bad this series,
Oh, not at all.
but that's been the MO for the Maple Leafs coming into and out of playoff series is can they get consistent goaltending? And it's the same thing with the Oilers.
Yeah.
And Connor Hellebuck, they were what, 1-7. The Winnipeg Jets were coming into the playoffs and they
Yep.
beat the Oilers. And to come back, I believe it was game 3 down 4-1, the way they did and in the fashion that they had to do it is somewhat remarkable.
Well, I'm not a believer. I've never really been. I like Mike Smith as a human being, nice guy all around, right? But I don't believe him as a goaltender to be your solidified number one goalie. And it showed in this playoff series. He didn't really like they had that lead, and there's a few bad goals, but some other goals that weren't his fault. The team, you can't be winning games unless your team's not producing offensively, and they didn't do that every single game. When you have the two best, Stephen A. Smith even got on them, right? I think you showed me that where he was getting on McDavid and Draisaitl saying, "You guys are number 1 and 2 in points, and you guys get swept." I mean, like he's even talking about it. You don't hear ESPN talking. Stephen A.
Well,
Smith.
you're hearing about it because they have hockey next fall.
Yeah,
That's why
so
you're hearing about it.
you never hear about it, and that's like the first thing I hear Stephen A. Smith talk about. It's just embarrassing. I was expecting more from Edmonton, but like you said, comes down to goaltending, and Connor Hellebuck, top 3 goalie in the league right now for sure, without question. So, but it shouldn't have been a sweep. I don't know how they
I
were
quite
able to.
liked it. I mean, I like the Jets. I don't have anything against them. Jesse Pollock, good bar down kid, big Jets fan. And I think it's going to be a hard hitting series with them in Montreal. I mean, they're built the same way, not a whole lot of offensive firepower except for maybe one line.
Yeah,
Teams like Kotkaniemi, Caulfield, Suzuki, Toffoli, and you look at Winnipeg, it's Shifley, Ehlers, Wheeler, and Pierre-Luc Dubois. And
yep,
they both have really stocky defensemen, and
yeah,
they're arguably the top 3 goaltenders in the league.
yep.
Hellebuck and Price.
It's gonna be a great series.
The 2021 eventual Stanley Cup champion, Colorado Avalanche, yeah, nice, swept the St. Louis Blues 4-0. None of these games were close. I mean, St. Louis tried to put up a fight in some of them, but it was just a
Yep.
runaway. Nathan MacKinnon, I think, is severely underappreciated for how good he plays. Should be in the conversation with McDavid as best player in the league.
Hmm.
Him, Ranson, and Landeskog are just
Exactly.
unstoppable. And you look at defense too, Makar, Graves, Gerard, and Devontae's, all of them playing fantastic hockey. Even with your third line center being suspended for 8 games, they're still winning games handily. Tyson Jost, Burakovsky, Donskoy. No one talks about Donskoy. He's been playing unbelievable. I think he's got more points than Marner. Jonas Donskoy. He's not even on that line with McKinnon, Rantanen, and Landeskog. What else is there to say? I mean, they are an absolute wagon.
Oh yeah, they swept the Blues, right? And then if you're paying attention, they won 7-1 against Vegas.
Well, I was going to get to that, but that works too.
I was just gonna say, I know you probably want to talk
How
about
they
it later.
start Robin Leonard over Marc-Andre Fleury in game one?
Doesn't make sense to me, but I think they might be going back to Flurry in game two.
You would hope that they go back to Flower if they give up a touchdown.
Yeah,
But I mean, you see, I
and
want
an
to talk
extra
about the
point.
goals. I think it was the third or fourth goal that McKinnon just blew by the Vegas defense and sniped it top corner over Robin Leonard. I mean, he is just on another level than everybody
Yeah,
else.
it's a very, and this is supposed to be right the Colorado #1 team in the league, Vegas #2. So it should be a hard hitting series. I feel
Well, we're
like,
going to get back at it tomorrow, so it won't
yeah,
be
so
better than what we saw on
should
Sunday
be
night.
closer.
The Vegas Golden Knights evaded a 3-1 series
Yeah,
collapse, and they took over in Game 7 against the Minnesota Wild, defeating them 6-2 in Game 7. Matthias Janmark
the
potted himself
Hattie.
a hat trick, but he got absolutely shit pumped in Game 1 again with who gave him the check? I don't know who gave him the check. Graves or Gerard, one of the defensemen, but he gave him the 1-2 Mayweather, 3-4 McGregor, real good.
Yes.
But Minnesota put up a very good fight. They were almost 20 games above 500, so they were no slouch going to play Vegas.
Hmm.
Kaprizov, whether you want to say it or
He
not,
was on
is going to
another
take the
level.
Calder Cup trophy.
Yeah.
And one of the more underrated players in the league, not alone the Minnesota Wild, Kevin Fiala. No,
Fiala.
down center.
Yeah.
He's got the pedigree. He was there in Nashville and they made the Cup final. And I didn't know he was Swiss, which I didn't know. I thought he was American. He's Swiss, and he's played very, very good hockey. And he played well in the series, but just couldn't get it done over Vegas. I'm sure you get to this guy in a later on, so I'll save him for you. But again, just overall, very, very, it's a deep team. They can play 4 lines, which a lot of these teams that are out couldn't in the third period or overtime. The teams are moving on. They roll 4 lines.
Yeah. Every single one. But yeah, like you said, the guys I want to get to, Vegas, good team overall. And why I like them so much, I'm not like a rider for Vegas. Like I'm just going to hop on the bandwagon. But they've got Mark Stone, who came from Ottawa, and obviously an Ottawa fan. They got Max Pacioretty, who's coming back who came back from
Got the
injury now.
goal in Game 7. Got
Got the goal in Game 7. Came from Montreal, former captain. So they got a good team. You got Marc-Andre Fleury, another, like we said, with Carey Price and Hellebuck. Fleury's probably the third goalie in that top three, in my opinion, um, in the league right now. So you got a really good offense. You got good defense, and you've got a great goalie to back you up. I was expecting more from Robin Leonard. The Willie, what did they win? The
Well,
William and Jennings together or
I don't know
something?
why they throw him to the Wolves, right? You're playing the best team in the league, and you've been sitting on the bench for 2 weeks.
Yeah. It was just poor coaching decision, but they'll bounce back. They played great. They've got some good players. I think it's going to be a closer series once Fleury's back in net.
It better be like that for Game 2,
Yeah.
because this has been billed as it should be the Stanley Cup final. It's been billed like that for since the playoffs started and since we knew the division alignment was going to be like this for the playoffs. And I've been looking forward to this series a lot, and I will not be looking forward to it if it's going to be 7-1 kicking like it usually is.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Avs want to elevate their game. They ain't they're hungry for a cup, and it's definitely showing for how much they've been playing very, very well. Haven't lost in the playoffs yet.
That's ridiculous.
It's unbelievable. Don't have the class to gentlemen sweep the Blues, so you get a couple brownie points losing on that one. The New York Islanders, another upset, defeated the Pittsburgh Penguins in 6 games. Probably the best atmosphere in the league at
Oh, yeah.
Nassau
In New
Coliseum, even though
York.
they brought like 9,000 fans. It's loud and it's awesome. You saw the Jets offensive lineman smashing beers above his head with the mullet, no less. Gotta love it. But again, deep team, no superstars, and the superstar they have, Matt Barzal, yet to score, and they're still out of the first round.
That's crazy. Josh Bailey, one player I think has really stepped it up for them in that first round, and then Ilya Sorokin was played amazing. Stood on his head a couple
Their
games that
rookie
really.
goalie, not
Pardon?
the rookie goaltender.
Sorokin's a rookie.
He's a rookie.
Oh wow, we've got a couple of rookie goalies here that made it past the first round. Then, that's quite impressive, honestly. Oh yeah, because he came over from a different league, right? Like overseas.
Yeah, their number
So
one the whole season was Varlamov, and then
Sorokin was from the
right, they go game
KHL.
one.
Yeah,
Sorokin came in, won them game one. Varlamov
yeah.
came in, lost two straight, and then
I think he
Sorokin
made
went away.
43 saves in one game where they won. I think it was
Game
I
one
think
is
it was
the
game six
one
or
that went to double overtime.
yeah, one of the double overtime made 43 saves, stood in his head. So he really helped out. And it's not like they were playing any slouches, right? You're playing Sidney Crosby, seasoned vet nowadays, not no Sid the
Not said
Kid
the kid.
anymore. He's not Sid the Kid. Malkin came back. He didn't play the first few games, but he came back and had an impact. But still, New York was able to shut the door. Obviously, you pick Pittsburgh? Because I know I picked the Islanders from the beginning of the season to be this upset team. Um, in the division at least. Also had them out of the first round, so it's going to be a good one against Boston, I think too. Two teams that are very well, I think, evenly matched.
Mm-hmm. It's just very New York just knows how to. They have Pittsburgh's number, man. Like the last, I think the only series losses that Mike Sullivan has to his name is against the New York Islanders or a Barry Trotz coach team.
Yeah,
With Crosby, Crosby's three least points in a series all come against the Barry Trotz coach team. And
damn.
Pittsburgh's at a climax, right? You have your three core players that are over the age of 33 with Crosby, Gino, and Letang.
And Tristan Jarry's just
Or
was
talk
not.
about poor goaltending.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
mean,
say that, like, his, what was it, the overtime goal where he passed it right to them?
yeah, then
That was
two words
ridiculous.
that probably is going to be the focal point for that series. And it's going to be the lasting effect if it continues to be Tristan Jarry in the net for Pittsburgh. High glove. 13 out of the 16 goals were high
my
glove.
my question is, why ever let Marc-Andre Fleury go to expansion? I'm still baffled at
And then
that.
let Matt Murray walk.
And you let Matt Moore go to Ottawa Senators. Crazy to me. Just poor decisions from the GM there.
The next one that the guys are currently facing, the Boston Bruins
Yeah.
defeating the Washington Capitals in
Thank
5 games.
hate Washington.
Boston's just again absolute wagon in the playoffs, rolling four lines as per usual to be a deep playoff team. And even when people like Jeremy Lauzon didn't play, got hurt, didn't play. Connor Clifton steps up, plays over 15 minutes a night, shuts down the Caps firepower with OV Carlson, Oshie, and they limit Tom Wilson's antics, whether they like it or
Thank
not.
God.
They have
If
Brad
that guy got past the first round, I would have been so upset. But Sheldon Keefe, he could learn a thing or two from these Boston Bruins, right? From rolling his lines.
we're aware.
Just gonna throw that out there. But yeah, Boston took a risk, obviously coming in. Just so much experience playing in the playoffs. Well, like really composed. Probably one of the most underrated goalies in my opinion. Not talked about enough. Even though I hate the Boston Bruins, like I despise them, you got to give credit to the goaltenders because they're standing on their heads when they have to. And Rask was able to shut the door down, only lose one game there. So it was good to see good
And it
goaltending
was game
again.
one, right? So I mean,
Yeah,
shake it to
exactly.
rust,
Exactly.
and they just roll four straight. And a one pickup that I'm sure isn't talked about very much, Taylor Hall.
Taylor Hall. Yeah,
I mean, he's got a couple goals to his name. He's got some points, and
come on.
and you know what? He might be the guy in Boston because he doesn't have to be the guy like he had to
Exactly.
in Edmonton, New Jersey, pardon, and or Arizona. Everyone looked at him to score the goals, where you had the perfection line playing in front of you.
Yeah, like one of the best lines in hockey.
And it proved that in game one with David Pastrnak scoring a hat trick, winning on and off the ice with his suit game, no less. I mean, I hate the Bruins, but it's hard to not like David Pastrnak.
Yeah, he's a nice, I think, a fan favorite around the NHL for sure.
100%. The last of the first round series, the Carolina Hurricanes beating the Nashville Predators in 6 games. Look a little shaky for this series because Carolina looked so good the first two. and then Nashville came back and got it back to 2-2. So it was home, and it was a home. eh, The home team won every game up until Game 6 when Carolina beat Nashville in overtime. These two had the best fans in the first round without a question. Both
100%.
barns were completely full, and another good young goaltender stealing the show for the Hurricanes.
I want to say his name Nevelkovic. I
Yes,
think I'm
Alex
saying that
Nedeljkovic.
correctly. He's another rookie, like we said, young rookie in the league. On one of our previous videos, I know someone commented saying he should be up for the Calder Trophy. But I think that's going to go to Kaprizov. But he played amazing as well against Nashville. Another player who is another young talent, Sebastian Aho, really stepping it up for Carolina. I mean, as well. So I just want to mention too in this pure finesse bracket. I got every single one right except for the Winnipeg, where I think no one really got
Oh,
Winnipeg sweeping. But all you guys,
to win the series.
I don't know how many like cup winners I saw were Toronto, 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 Toronto.
I
You
picked
didn't
the
have
Avs.
Toronto?
I picked the Avs. I learned my lesson from March Madness not to pick with my heart.
I know, me too. I picked Vegas to win the whole thing.
So
So
I picked Colorado, but I was one of them that picked Winnipeg to beat Edmonton.
that's crazy.
So just yeah,
You
well,
could catch up then. Never mind. I was gonna get a little cocky there, but that way you could catch up.
just relax.
I gotta
If I'm
chill.
looking correctly here, I had one, two series wrong. Leafs and Tampa, Florida.
Oh, you had Florida winning, did you?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But
That's
Carolina's be playing Tampa Bay. Their series is already underway. Tampa's up 1-0 in that series. Martin Nisas got a hot start against Tampa Bay in the regular season, was the leading point scorer for Carolina in the regular season. But as we all know, between the Montreal Toronto series, the regular season means nothing.
nothing.
Playoffs.
We got outscored in the series
Andre
too.
Vasilevsky, again, he is the best goalie in the league behind Carey Price and Hellebuck. They're 1, 2, and 3, I would say, in terms of
Yeah, you could put
goalie hierarchy.
yeah.
So, hey, Vasilevsky's got a cup. What does Carey Price have?
No, I was talking about Flurry. I was thinking Flurry might be up there too. So because he's got a few cups to his name.
So I think their game 2 goes tomorrow or Wednesday. I can't remember correctly, but it should be, I would say, a pretty high scoring series, whether Vasilevsky wants to like it or not, because he gave up a lot of goals against
Yeah,
Florida.
it's not like he shut the door every single game. So and Carolina is very offensive minded in my opinion. So Rod Brendamore has I think he's done a great job. I think he's going to win Jack Adams hands down. But it's going to be a great series. Another great. All these series are going to be good. Hopefully, unlike hopefully
Well,
the Colorado one's good. We'll see
yeah.
after the next game.
Man,
But
hopefully there's some track meets. I wouldn't mind like some old time scores like 8-7 or 7-6. See some
I would
fantasy
mind
lines
that.
up. But next time we go into Pure Finesse, it's going to be Euro 2021. So we're going to get the round table rolling with one of the best minds around the world. Deal about
Going
Euro
international
2021. So get your soccer scores right because it's going to be great. So until then, it's Jacob.
and Colm.